Okay, Paul, what do you think of this? I mean, he sent out the... It's an analogy. That's what it is.
Sure, it's a kind of one.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, but
now, wait.
does.
Okay, so you want to argue the merits of the thing, not just... I mean, this is what got me, was that the Democrats were saying that it's heinous, it's evil, it's a... You know, these aren't candies, these are people. Well, yes, that's what an analogy is. He compared them to candy. So how is he off in his analogy?
Because this says it all. That's not true. Right in that statement there, because if you're going to put them all in a bowl of Skittles, it's like, well, these 3 might kill you, these 3 might cure cancer, these 3 might come to your country
they might
and
start
be great
Google
citizens,
or Amazon.
Wait, Paul makes a point better than any of those dunces over there at the Hillary Clinton campaign. Jessica, he's saying you got to take the good with the bad. He doesn't mind poisoning himself with Skittles.
I just feel sorry for the Skittles company, man.
Well, look.
And the photographer of that picture came out and said actually that they themselves were a refugee and hated that this was being used in the way.
Oh, well, yeah, that incredible photograph of Skittles. Like, we can't find another one?
I'm just saying, I mean, I think that what it comes down to, and I understand you want to nitpick about it, and I think that making the argument that we are going to get some good with the bad, which is what basically anyone in law enforcement, from the FBI to the CIA to the president to Hillary Clinton, I mean, Trump says a lot of other things and says we can just keep all that out, which we know is not possible. The point is, if you find an image or it comes to you via, in some way, from a white supremacist site, don't retweet it. Donald Trump Jr. does this all the time, and the campaign, like the Pepe or Pepe the Frog situation.
You're telling me that these jelly beans were on a white supremacist site?
I am telling you, these Skittles.
They went, listen, this comparing something to another thing is something that's done everywhere. Obama does it himself when he had he always talks about bad apples. When he talks about Obamacare, he says that there's many companies that are bad apples. It's the same kind of analogy. Bad apples spoil the bunch.
It's a bad analogy.
What?
Because if it's going to be something you don't want, and he's saying Skittles are something you don't want, Skittles are delicious. Compared to candy corn.
Tom.
Everybody's throwing candy corn out at the end of Halloween.
You're right. Well, no, this is why it's a good analogy, Gianno, because Skittles are delicious. People were complaining, oh, these are people, not candies, but he compared them to the most delicious of candies.
I know, but I had a bowl of Skittles before I came on set. I got to have some Trump vodka because I don't know if I need life support or not. This
you had too many.
Too many. I had maybe 5 before I came on the set, so hopefully I'll be okay. But on a more serious note, this was an analogy. I understood exactly what he said. It made a lot of sense to me. But at the same time, considering the sensitivities of this election cycle, perhaps that's an analogy he didn't want to make. Although I got it. I know you got it, Jessica, obviously, right?
I'm super smart, yeah.
Because you know that the Homeland Security hasn't been doing a great job vetting people. We know that the processes that have been in place, especially with these immigrants who were supposed to be deported, the 850 of them that became citizens.
The situation from this weekend.
It's still the same
agency. Of course.
Maybe we just need to keep flavor.
There's 100% work to be done. I do think, though, that doing things like this, and you just say that it's about being anti-PC, that's kind of what Trump runs on, right? Like, you can just say all of these things. And he does risk, I believe, maybe not with the Skittles, but with something that will come out later in the week or something that he's already done, of really offending people, like the evangelical population.
A basket of deplorables, you're right. I'm super offended.
We should just keep certain flavors of Skittles out. I think that's where you go. Yeah.
The purple's definitely got to go.
But Jessica, there was absolutely nothing offensive about using an analogy for a basket of Skittles. Nothing offensive about that.
I think the idea, and at least from the great tweets that I saw from my liberal comrades about it, you know, where they pointed to the little boy in Aleppo and said, you know, not a Skittle. The idea that you're reducing it, I understand that it's an analogy, but if you're just making a comparison like that, they felt, and I understand wholeheartedly, that you're making light of an extremely serious situation. Majority of refugees are not men coming over here of fighting age to blow us up. They are people who are escaping war-torn countries.
So you can make that argument. You can say, on the merits, you can, yes, but that's the argument that Paul was making. You can break it down and say that you know, you have to take the good with the bad. But they don't want to make that argument. They want to say that, oh, this is like hate, this is white supremacy. It's dumb, and that's why your guys are losing. Okay, moving on.
ISIS is recruiting and training people at 5 years old and up. That's what ISIS is doing.
No Skittles whatsoever.
Exactly.
No Skittles.